Thank you so much for the introduction, Juliana. Great to have everyone here today. Can you hear me okay?
Perfectly. Thank you so much.
Perfect. So yeah, great to be here with Beyond Benign today for Green Chemistry Connections. My plan today is to just talk a little bit about the International Laboratory Freezer Challenge, which is currently running right now, and letting you know how you can get involved. I've been in discussions with Fran and Juliana, and also Madeline Schultz and Namrata Jain, who's our marketing manager at My Green Lab, about how to make it clear that the freezer challenge is for every scientist. It's for every teaching lab. It's for every research lab. Not just for biologists. So we've been doing a special push this year to make sure that chemists know that this program is relevant for you as well. And I just want to briefly mention that My Green Lab is a nonprofit organization, and we have multiple programs that all kind of operate in this connected ecosystem, one of which is the Freezer Challenge, which I'll focus on today. But My Green Lab certification is one of our programs, the ACT label, which is an eco-nutrition label for laboratory products and equipment, our ambassador program. So this is all part of our program suite. So I'll just start off with the International Laboratory Freezer Challenge is a partnership program between two nonprofits, My Green Lab and I2SL. And then, we partner with other organizations like Beyond Benign, as well as all of the corporate sponsors that make the Freezer Challenge possible to promote the program and get the word out there to the scientific community. The Freezer Challenge has been going for 7 years now, and we're in its 7th year, and we're really proud and excited about this program. It's running right now, and it ends on July 1st this year, and it's relevant for any laboratory around the world that has cold storage. I know we have some educators on the line today, so even teaching labs this can be applicable for. It runs every year, so you can also plan ahead for next year and participate too. The program is free for labs and organizations to join, and we're really proud to be able to offer that, and that's made possible through the sponsors that support this program. So I just want to touch on why there's a freezer challenge in the first place. A small single family home in the United States consumes about 25 kilowatt hours per day. And that can be about the same as an ultra low temperature freezer. Some of the more energy efficient ultra lows on the market now consume, 8 to 10 to 12 kilowatt hours per day, but still about half as much as a house consumes. An ultra low temperature freezer is another word for another phrase for a -80, if you're more familiar with that. Similarly, -20s consume 1 to 5 kilowatt hours per day, and refrigerators can consume 1 to 3 kilowatt hours per day. And as you can imagine, there are hundreds of thousands of these types of units in the United States, in Canada, around the world, particularly, many more were brought online during the COVID pandemic due to vaccine storage and transport. So there is a large energy impact from our laboratory cold storage units. We have some data from a market assessment that My Green Lab participated in called the SEAL report that focused on ultra-lows in the state of California. And we estimated, along with the utility companies in California, that there are at least 440,000 ultra lows in California, or in the United States, across the United States. And the high end of that is that there could be up to 890,000 ultra low temperature freezers alone. So that only that one category of freezer. And we estimate that those freezers are consuming 4,000 to 8,000 gigawatt hours of energy each year. And keep in mind that the Hoover Dam generates 4,000 gigawatt hours in a year. So 2 Hoover Dam worths of ultra lows in the United States alone, let alone, the world. So this is why there's an International Laboratory Freezer Challenge, and why we're working with scientists on improving energy efficiency in their labs with their cold storage and implementing best practices to make cold storage units run more efficiently. So the freezer challenge has had large impact the last couple of years. Last year alone, we saved an estimated 9.5 million kilowatt hours over that year due to participation from labs around the world. That's about the equivalent of 1,300 homes worth of energy use, eliminating or reducing the impact from over 6,000 metric tons of carbon dioxide equivalent. And since the program's inception back in 2017, it's been a cumulative savings of 24 million kilowatt hours over that time. So we're really hoping to beat the energy savings from last year this year and get more labs involved than ever before. And that's why I'm speaking with you today. There's still time to participate in this program. And we talk about the many different benefits of participating in the freezer challenge. I really see this as a win-win for any research laboratory, any teaching laboratory, in any sector, really. So you can increase the energy efficiency of your cold storage units by participation, which in turn reduces costs for your institution. But also this leads to better sample accessibility and improved sample integrity. If you're only storing what you need to store and you know where everything is, you can take some time, set some time aside to actually inventory your units if they aren't inventoried already, clean out some stuff you don't need anymore, those sorts of actions, and hopefully reduce those door opening times and the amount of time you've got your head in a cold storage unit trying to hunt for something. A part of this is also risk mitigation. Any mechanical unit, whether it's your car or your home appliances like your furnace or your AC unit, require maintenance. And our cold storage units require maintenance too, but we often forget to do those important things. And so the program helps support labs with those actions as well. Also, it can be a fun program. We provide recognition and awards for labs and organizations that do really well each year. And it's a great way to bring your lab together to think about sustainability beyond green chemistry, as I know many of you are focused on green chemistry in your laboratories, but this is another dimension of laboratory sustainability that you can talk about and bring into your usual practices in the lab. So it's really easy to participate. You go online to freezerchallenge.org, and then there's a button that says register. So you register your laboratory online, and then you work on implementing cold storage best practices. There's about 25 different actions that you can choose from. Most labs don't do them all. That would take a lot of time and effort. Some labs pick and choose just a few things to focus on each year. And I should mention that, we have a month and a half left of the competition this year, but you can count any of the cold storage best practices that your lab has implemented since August of 2022 on this year's score sheet. So if you have done preventative maintenance, if you have done sample cleanouts, if you're sharing cold storage units between research laboratories, all of those things since August of 2022, you can count for this year. Then you need to turn in your score sheet to us by July 1, and you'll then receive an estimate of your lab's energy savings through the actions done through the program. And we recognize top labs and organizations at the annual I2SL conference. I don't have a ton of time to go through all of these best practices. I guess I can share them further. I just want to give you a sense of what sort of actions I'm talking about. Preventative maintenance, like defrosting units that are full of frost, cleaning the filters and coils, making sure your door gaskets are free of ice, sample management, having an accurate inventory, considering whether a barcoded inventory system would be useful for your lab, updating your inventory if you haven't done that in a while, making sure you're storing samples at the appropriate temperature. The colder you go, the more energy in general those units consume. So if you're storing things in an ultra low that could be in a -20, we ask people to consider that. Chilling up ultra low temperature freezers to -70. This can save 30% of the energy consumed by an ultra low temperature freezer. And we have lots of resources about -70 degrees Celsius on the resources page of the Freezer Challenge website. Retiring unneeded cold storage units, upgrading to more energy efficient units. And then some cutting edge practices, things like sharing units, trying room temperature sample storage, and telling some of your neighboring labs, some of your colleagues about the competition too. We have lots of resources on the Freezer Challenge website to support your lab through the program. Papers, reports, blog posts, a participant kit, which has images for social media, newsletter copy, some images you can use, an explanation of the program. And we have a new resource this year called How to Win the Freezer Challenge, which has insights into all of the best practices that we promote through this competition. And I just want to mention that, again, this is a very flexible program. Nothing about it is prescriptive. You as, a lab manager, a PI, an instructor, you choose which actions you want to implement. We have labs that participate in the Freezer Challenge year after year. It's a nice way for them to make sure that they're keeping up with preventative maintenance on their units. And we also have some institutions that organize an internal competition with just their organization using the Freezer Challenge data, and we can work with organizations to do that. So if you want to provide additional incentives at your organizations to get labs to participate, yeah, we can help facilitate that. I'll just run through this really quick. We had great engagement last year and participation, but we're hoping to blow this out of the water this year. Our goal is 1,800 labs participating in the Freezer Challenge this year. Last year, we had over 27 countries involved in the program, which we're super proud of and excited about. And we're looking forward to getting even more to participate this year. Recognition this year will be at the I2SL conference in Anaheim, California in October. And all of the winners of the Freezer Challenge are also featured in Lab Manager magazine in a feature article where we interview as many participants, as many winners as possible. Here's some photos of winners from last year. We gave out about 30 awards last year. And that was among, the 1,200 labs that participated. These are our sponsors that make the program possible. Some of them are our your usual, cold storage manufacturers, as well as Amgen and Gilead and Elemental Machines. And so with that, I just encourage you to check out the website, register for the Freezer Challenge. There's still a month and a half to go. It's definitely not too late to participate. And please spread the message if you can. We have some flyers in the participant kit that you can download and post in your lab buildings or send out via email. And I'll take questions in the breakout room. Thank you.